Your service year can be better. Too often, service becomes routine. CDS meetings, attendance sheets, short-term activities, and after POP, everything ends. But it doesn't have to be that way. Introducing the NYSC Impact Challenge by NaijaSolve. Over 2 million naira to be won in cash and consolation prizes. Do you have a solution to a real community problem? Are you ready to lead change where you serve? The NYSC Impact Challenge helps core members turn real problems into real solutions. It provides structured funding, clear milestones, accountability, and measurable impact in just 6 to 8 weeks. You do not need personal money, you do not need connections, you only need a practical idea. Applications are now open from March 2nd to March 16th for serving NYSC core members only. Make your service year more than a routine. Turn your service year into your impact year. Apply now.
Hi everyone, good afternoon and welcome to the Info Challenge. Hello everyone, welcome once again. Apologies for the break in transmission. That was a little bit of network issues. If you're joining us now, welcome to the info session of the NYSC Impact Challenge. And I'm so glad to have everyone here. So if you're joining already, make sure you tell someone to join as well. My name is Mulayo Abrahams, and today I'll be guiding you through everything you need to know to participate in this exciting initiative. And I am not here alone. I am here with my colleague, and she will be introducing herself before we dive right into the program for today. Hi, Omalade.
Thank you very much, Mulayo. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, and trust this is going to be an exciting session. My name is Omalade, and as Mulayo said, I'm the project manager at NaijaSolve, and I'll be working on through all we need to know.
Thank you, Omalade. So basically, today we'll be talking about the challenge that is designed, that is the NYSC Impact Challenge, which is designed for the currently serving National Youth Service Corps members who want to identify real problems in their host community and to also lead structured solutions with funding and mentorship provided. Today, we'll be talking about what NaijaSolve is about, the NYSC Impact Challenge, who is eligible, how to apply and submit your ideas, how the projects are funded and supported, and finally, we would answer all your questions, whatever questions or concerns you have. And that is why we are here today, to answer each and every one of them. So before my colleague joins us on the info session, I'll quickly run through a couple of things that I would like you to know. And if you're joining us right now, please prepare your questions, because very soon we'll get to that segment where we would have to get your questions. If you're watching us on YouTube, if you're watching us on Instagram, if you're watching us on LinkedIn, Welcome, welcome. In fact, let us do a little bit of e-meeting. You can drop it in the comment section and tell us where in Nigeria you are watching us from. And peradventure, you are not in Nigeria. Of course, we expect that you would be in Nigeria because every NYSC core member is meant to be in Nigeria. But just let us know, for instance, hi, my name is Mulayo Mark Abrahams. I am joining this info session from Lagos State. So if you're joining from Abuja, from Port Harcourt, from Benin, wherever you might be joining us from, just drop it in the comment section. Let's see how many people and how many states we have represented on this call. So quickly, I'd like to dive right into what the NYSC Impact Challenge is about. Like I said earlier, it's about turning ideas into real, actionable community projects. This is how it works. You identify a real community problem in your host community, not assumptions, not trends, but a practical solution. And then if you get selected, if your project gets selected, you get funding, you get mentorship, and a clear implementation structure. So it's not just haphazard, there's a structure to it, there are milestones, and there's an accountability framework that helps you to do it. So it's basically, you're not doing it alone. We are here with you. We are here to provide you the funding you need, the mentorship you need, and the structure you need. So, I hear most people say, okay, if I see a problem in my community that I want to solve, do I have to bring money? How do I do this myself? I've never been a project manager before. Talk more of becoming a community solutions manager, like we fondly love to call them. You don't have anything to worry about. That's why we are on this call to answer all of your questions. So you see all those questions that you've been asking. Maybe you've been seeing our posts for some time now, and you're wondering, how do I start this? I don't even know what to do. Please stay on this call, stay connected to the end, and we will be sure to answer all your questions. Also, I'd like to run through a couple of things before my colleague joins us back on the call. The timeline, basically, you've been seeing our posts on social media where we're talking about how long this challenge is meant to run for. It's meant to run between a time frame of 6 to 8 weeks. So if you have a project a solution that you're waiting to bring on board, keep it in mind that you have to be able to implement this particular project within that time frame. So right about now, I would like to have my colleague come on board and tell us a bit about NaijaSolve. Maybe you're just joining us newly and you're wondering, what is NaijaSolve? What is the NYSC Impact Challenge? The most important thing is to bring it back to the very beginning, which is NaijaSolve. NaijaSolve is the mother of this particular project, but I will not be speaking so much on that. I want my colleague to come on board now to speak about, rightly before she goes ahead, I'm going to continue from what I was speaking about the other time, talking about the timeline, the 6 to 8 weeks timeline, where you have to implement the project and all of that. So if you're on this info session and maybe you've seen a problem in your community and you feel like you can be a solution to this problem, keep it in mind that this project is meant to run for 6 to 8 weeks. And another very, very important thing that I cannot overemphasize and I must have missed out from the beginning is the fact that this challenge is not just a challenge. We've been talking about the NYSC Impact Challenge. What is it about? What do I stand to gain? You get to gain up to 2 million naira rewards and other consolation prizes. Is that not amazing? Very, very amazing. So you don't just do the projects for doing sake. You do the project, you impact your community, which is the most important takeaway from here. You become a solution to a problem in your community, in your country, and then you get rewarded for it. Huge rewards at that. So if you're lucky to get selected, if your project gets selected, you get to enter the competition phase, you complete your project, and if your project is also lucky enough to make it to the winners of this particular challenge, then you get your rewards of up to 2 million naira in cash and consolation prizes. Isn't that amazing? You get rewarded for becoming a solution to the problems of people in your community, right? Also, another thing is there are clear milestones to these things. we have stages, and your project is funded in stages, it's funded according to milestones. So we're not just running the project without proper verification, proper monitoring, and proper structure. There are times when you would have to run through a validation procedure, a verification procedure. You come, you bring your project, you tender it, and all of those things, which my colleague will be coming up on the call to give us more details about. I'm just basically preparing the way and familiarizing us with all we have to talk about today before she gets back on the call. And another thing is, like I said earlier, the focus is the impact, not the hype. So if you're seeing us on social media, we have been talking about the NYSC Impact Challenge. The most important thing is the impact part of everything we've been talking about. So my colleague is back on the call, and I would like to bring her up now to tell us a bit about NaijaSolve, and from there dive into NYSC Impact Challenge, all what it is about. Hi, Omalani, welcome back.
Hi, Malaya. Thank you very much for that. Hi, Malaya. Thank you very much for that. Apologies. Thank you very much for on with the goal of helping youth, helping young people in their communities to solve their own problem. We like to call ourselves the GoFundMe for community development. You have a problem in your community, you have something that is what doing in your community. For example, you can see schools that do not have chairs, that do not have boards, that probably do not even have a ceiling on their building, right? And you think that, oh, I want to do something about this. I'm not comfortable with how students are being crammed into one space when it's raining, or I'm not comfortable with how they are sitting on the floor, right? That's when NaijaSolve comes in. And we understand that it's one thing to want to do impact, it's another thing to have the resources or even the structure to carry this out. And again, that's where we come in. We will provide the resources and help you or be with you part of the way, support you to be able to carry out this project that you want to do in your community. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Omalade. Thank you for that wonderful breakdown of what NaijaSolve is and then what the challenge is about. So I'm not sure if we can still hear me. If you're joining, when we began, we started with some sort of meet and greet. You type your name and tell us where you're joining from. My name is Titi. I'm from Abuja. My name is Chidima. I'm from Imo State. You can drop it in the comment section. Let us know where you're joining us from and how excited are you to be here. So if you have questions as well, please feel free to start dropping it in the comment section. Feel free to start dropping them in the comment section. Once you start dropping it, we'll pick it up and then we'll listen to it. But before then, I have, of course, a couple of frequently asked questions. We've been having people ask us questions, people telling us, oh, they want to know more about the NYSC Impact Challenge. What is it about? Why is it just for the youth COP members? Why is it not for the public and all of that? And the interesting part is NaijaSolve. That is why I wanted my colleague to mention what NaijaSolve is about, so we understand NaijaSolve on its own, aside the NYSC Impact Challenge. And the important thing and most interesting thing is that NYSC Impact Challenge is just like a section of what NaijaSolve does, right? We also have a general one for people that are not necessarily COP members, but that's not the reason why we are here actually. The reason why we are here is to talk about the NYSC Impact Challenge. So I have a couple of questions here that I'll be raising, and I want my colleague to do justice to it, to respond to it, and so that you also can learn from it. And then if you have any questions, please drop it in the comment section. If you're joining on YouTube, drop your questions. On LinkedIn, drop your questions. On Instagram, drop your questions. So hi, Amalade.
Hi, Malaya.
All right, so I have a question here. It says, do I need my own money, to participate in the NYSC Impact Challenge?
All right. So for me to answer that, I need to talk about the model first and foremost. So first thing that when you submit your application that, oh, I would like to do this XYZ project in my community using the application form, we will review it and then get back to you, have an interview with you. Once we have an interview with you, if you scale through the interview process, we then send contracts to you and, we rule about that. However, part of what we do as part of our model beyond the whole interview is that we encourage a 20% co-contribution, which is split as 10% from the core member and then 10% from the community that you're supporting. However, for the core member, the 10% is contributed in kind, right? In the sense that, for example, I want to work on a particular school that does not have chairs and tables, right? So what does in-kind support mean for you as a core member? It is that beyond gathering the artisans and seeking the funding for this thing, maybe I would buy part of the wood for XYZ thing or this XYZ number of wood. Your time is also in kind support. But then the community has to contribute 10% either in cash or in kind. But you have to verify this to be or calculate this to be 10% of your total budget.
All
All
right.
right.
Thank you so much, Omalade. That was very, very explanatory. So I have another question. Of course, that's like one of the major questions that anybody that joins this info session or either comes across our posts on social media or on any platform would have. And that is, who is eligible to apply? I know the name of the challenge has given it up a little bit, but I want us to like properly dissect it and let people understand who is eligible to apply and why it's that way.
So the name answers it, NYSC Impact Challenge, which means that you are currently a serving core member. That's one. Two, within the period of 6 to 8 weeks, you will not be doing your POP. That means that we will need you to be present in wherever location or community that you're solving the problem to see through the project. So you're currently a serving core member that will also not be passing out within 6 to 8 weeks of their project's implementation.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So if you're here, if you're on the call, please drop your questions. We are here to answer all of them. The third question, it says, can I participate even if I don't have prior project experience?
Oh, yes. Sure. Totally, you can participate. So give a project management course where the CSM is going to just take a 2 to 3 hour course or something, or just to brush them up on how they can implement their project. So even if you don't have prior project experience, yes, you can apply, yes, you can solve a problem in your community. That's why we
All right, thank you so much. So another question I have here is, how long will the project take? I mean, we've said it a couple of times, but maybe some people didn't take note of it well. We've said it, or maybe when I was on the call, some people had not joined. So please give us an idea of how long the project will take.
Okay, so whatever project that you are proposing or whatever solution you want to solve has to be something that you can implement within 6 to 8 weeks, right? Anything outside 6 to 8 weeks, not that you can't complete your project, you already submitted your application, not that you can't complete your project after 8 weeks. However, you will not qualify for the challenge if your project is 8 weeks. It's 6 to 8 weeks. But if your project exceeds 8 weeks, you can go ahead to still continue to implement your project, but you will not qualify for the challenge.
All right, thank you so much, Omalade. I hope you're taking notes. If you're on the call and you're listening, and you have a friend that is interested in this, please tell them to join. And also, you should also stay till the end. So another question I have here is, can I work with others on the project? I mean, I know it's supposed to be for NYSC and all of that, but does that mean that I get to do it all alone? Can I include people,
friends to work together with me on the project, or it's just individual?
Okay, so yes and no. Yes, in the sense that Of course, you can't implement the project alone. You need the community to, get their approval, get their support, rally around them. You need the school or wherever you're implementing your project as well. You also probably need support or ideas or either emotional, physical, or financial support from your friends as well to be able to implement your project. However, and this is where the no is that we only count an individual for project implementation. So, for example, my name is BC and friends. BC has friends that have decided that, oh, we're going to support you through your project, right? We'll give you ideas, we'll follow you to wherever the vendors are, we'll follow you to wherever you want to get your approval and all of that. That's super great. However, the only entry that would be counted, or the only person that will be counted, is BC, not our friends. So you can do it with people that is super advisable. You really can't solve work on this alone, to be honest. But when it comes to counting the individuals, it's just BC that will be counted.
Hi, Omolade. Apologies, we had a little
technical
technical
glitch.
glitch.
Thank you so
But
much
thank
for
you so much for
responding to that
responding to that
question. It's
question.
so
It's
interesting
so
to
interesting
know
to
that
know that
you are
you
not the
are
only
not the
one that
only
get
one
to
that
do the
gets to do
project.
the
I mean,
project.
for
I mean, for
instance, I
instance,
as a
I
person, if
as
I
a person, if
decide,
I
oh,
decide,
I'm a
oh,
club
I'm a
member
club
and I
member
want to
and I want to
participate in
participate
the
in the
NYSC Impact
NYSC
Challenge,
Impact
I can
Challenge, I can
always do that
always
with
do
my
that with
friends,
my
right?
friends, right?
Thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much.
So,
So,
another question
another
I have
question I
here
have here
is,
is,
okay, let's
okay,
say
let's
for
say for
instance I
instance,
want
I
to
want to
submit my
submit my
application.
application.
Do I
Do
have
I
to
have to
submit
submit
just one
just one
project, or
project,
can I
or can I
submit
submit
multiple
multiple
project
projects
ideas?
as well?
Okay, so currently you have to submit just one project. Only a project qualifies, only an individual qualifies at the. However, if you have multiple projects that you want to implement, I mean, there's so many problems in that community that you just want to solve, you can go ahead to apply on our general application form where people can apply for as much project as they want. But for this particular challenge, it's just one project, one.
All right,
All right,
thank you
thank
so
you so
much.
much.
All right, so
All right, so
another question
another
that I
question
have
that I
here
have here
is,
is,
I'm talking
we're
about
talking about
project
projects,
versus project,
projects,
right?
right?
I can
I
only
can
submit
only
one
submit
project
one project
idea, I
idea,
can do
I
it
can
with
do
my
it with my
friends, I
friends,
have to
I
be a
have to
club
be top
member,
member.
but
But
everybody
everybody
knows
knows
how much
how
a
much
club
a
member
top member
collects
collects
every
every
month,
month.
and that
And
money
that
is not
money is not
sufficient to run
sufficient
any
to run any
project.
project.
So if
So
I
if I
want to
want to
enroll for
enroll
the
for the
NYSC Impact
NYSC Impact
Challenge,
Challenge,
am I the
am
one
I
that
the
would
one that
fund
would
the
fund the
project? And where
project?
do
And
I
where do
get that
I get
kind of money from? I mean, just speaking
and where
from
do I
someone
get
out
that
there
kind
that might have similar questions.
No,
I mean, just speaking from someone out there that might have similar questions.
no, you, I think I've answered. No, the only thing that is being requested using your money to fund the project. Co-contribution aspect of it, a 20% co-contribution, 10% from the core member, which we call the CSM, and then 10% from the community as well.
All right, thank you
All
so
right,
much, Omalade. A follow-up question to that. When will funding be provided? Is it going to be provided at the beginning, or is it broken down? How does it work?
Okay. In explain what type of milestone. So the application process is that you submit, we screen your application. Once we're done screening, if you qualify, we would send you an email for a technical review, right? So just a brief chat just to understand you, your project, why you decided to implement this project, and just to test your ability to be able to see this project through. Once that is done, we go through a validation stage, a validation and due diligence. And basically, we do this because we confirm that one, this location that you said you want to implement your project exists. Two, the project that you said you want to do also exists, or the problem that you say you want to solve also exists. So that's what the validation and due diligence is for. Once we're done with that stage, we now go into the implementation stage, right? At this, before the implementation stage, we usually would advise CSMs to break their project down into phases, right? So for example, in phase one, I want to do the roofing of the ceiling or whatever. In phase three, I want to move in chairs into the school, right? So you break your projects down into phases, and then we give funding based on that phase. So if your phase one is to do the ceiling, you only get funding for that part. Before the next funding can be released to you, we have to see evidence that you actually did the first phase, right? Once that is done, if you provide the evidence, receipts, reports, pictures, and all of that, we then go to give you the funding for phase two. Once phase two is done, we repeat, check this was also done as well. Then we go to phase three. So no, you're not giving the money at once. It is broken down into phases.
All right, thank you so much. That was very, very detailed, Omalade. So I'd like to ask lastly, or let me say second to the last, because I still have one more question after this. Is the competition, is this entire thing we're talking about, the NYSC Impact Challenge, is it, would we call it a competition or just a program that people get to participate in?
It's a mix of both. It's a mix of both. Not selected as a winner or runner, all of that validates the project that you've done. So it's a program that's coming back. You need funding for it, right? So this is a way to encourage you to complete or work or do something in your community concerning your CDS. So as much as it is a competition, it's also a program that we've encouraged everyone to participate in. And not qualifying for the prizes does not invalidate your impact or the quality of the work that you've done.
Thank you very much, Omalade. So now to my very final questions. But before I ask, I'd like to encourage everyone that is watching on all of the platforms where we're streaming, on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. Please drop your comments, drop your questions. Let us know if you have any questions, because that's why we are here. Basically, all of these questions are just frequently asked questions that we want to use to answer your questions. But if you have any other questions that we have not answered during the course of our conversations, please drop it in the comment section. Lastly, Omalade, is there anything like an ambassador program, even under this NYSC Impact Challenge, that people that are not necessarily core members can participate in? For instance, we are meant to, as NYSC core members, we are meant to apply. For instance, now I am an NYSC core member. I'm supposed to apply. Is there a way I can also tell my friends or tell people about it and get rewarded for it? Is there anything like that?
Yes, there's an NYSC Ambassador Impact Challenge program that we're running. You don't have to access to us. There's a code that is given to you that they have to input so that we can connect that this person was referred by you. So yes, you can be an ambassador for this challenge.
All right, thank you so much, Omalade.
Thank you so
much, Omalade. Do you have
any other thing before we finally wrap up this session? Do you have any more things to chip in?
Yes, and it should just be to encourage and to just be to encourage every and one of you come members to apply for this, right? And just because I mentioned that there are winners and runner-ups, there's a winner. I mean, as much as the money is a push, right? One of the things that we encourage this to be impact focused and impact driven. Yes, the money is a push. Yes, the money is supposed to be a reward for what you've done, but also there's also the impact, the joy that you derive that you're the solution to a particular problem in your community, right? So, for example, if you're in a community where students are sitting on the floor, or in combination with them sitting on the floor is also that when it rains or when the sun is too much, they just have to move to one side because they don't want water to drip on their body, right? But you can think about it like this, that what if I'm the solution to their problem, right? Beyond the reward that I want to get from this thing. If I can provide chairs for them, if I can fix their ceiling for them and they don't have to squeeze themselves in one place, they don't have to sit on the floor, their uniform or does not have to be dirty or get bad very fast. I mean, there's a special joy that you derive in that, from that impact that you've done. So beyond the money, I just want to encourage everyone to look at the impacts, to look at the joy that would be on these people's faces that they can do to them. If you now want to move away from maybe education now, right? If we want to say, okay, so there's a community that they don't have water, right? We've gotten applications like that, and people have to travel for maybe the third community or something to go and fetch water just so that they could base. And then students are getting to school late, workers are getting to school, to their offices late, and all of that. You can be the solution to that, right? Just help people, make them happy, make life easy for them in your own little way. So yes, beyond the reward that is attached to this challenge is to be impact focused and impact driven. Trust me, there's a special joy and that would be gotten from that. And if I can say, I mean, their heads can pray for you, their heads will also bless you as well. So that's all I would be saying.
Thank you very much, Omalade. And this will bring us to a close for this info session. Of course, we're still here. Anytime you have questions, you can always send us DMs, drop it in the comment section. We will be there to respond to every question you have. If by any chance you were unable to join this, I'm sure you'd be seeing it on our social media pages and you can easily watch afterwards and learn one or two things from it. And thank you for everyone that has joined this info session. Thank you, Omalade. Thank you for answering all of our questions. And then if you're watching this and you're a 7COP member, now is the time to turn that idea into action. Be a solution provider, be a community solutions manager in your host community. If you check on the screen, you would see the drop down on the screen that carries the link. Of course, on our social media platforms, on our IG, you can check the link in our bio. On every of our platforms, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, you can always see the link attached to every of our posts. And if you would like to be an ambassador, also you can send us a message. We have something special for every of our ambassadors. And applications close by March 16th, 2026. Don't forget. So don't stall. Start today. Invite your friends and let's create real impact together. Thank you so much for joining us today. I remain Molayo Abrahams. Until next time, when we come your way to give you another enlightening info session. Bye.
Your service year can be better. Too often, service becomes routine. CDS meetings, attendance sheets, short-term activities, and after POP, everything ends. But it doesn't have to be that way. Introducing the NYSC Impact Challenge by NaijaSolve. Over 2 million naira to be won in cash and consolation prizes. Do you have a solution to a real community problem? Are you ready to lead change where you serve? The NYSC Impact Challenge helps core members turn real problems into real solutions. It provides structured funding, clear milestones, accountability, and measurable impact in just 6 to 8 weeks. You do not need personal money, you do not need connections, you only need a practical idea. Applications are now open from March 2nd to March 16th. for serving NYSC core members only. Make your service year more than a routine. Turn your service year into your impact year. Apply now.